Welcome to another mock draft for the Chicago Bears, and in this installment, I have the Chicago Bears taking Ashton Jeanty. This is a Chicago Bears Ashton Jeanty mock draft, so we know who's going to come in at pick 10, and if the Bears are able to get Ashton Jeanty, people might not like that pick, but this is best player available type of selection. The Bears have this luxury with what they did in free agency, improving the trenches, and he's the fourth best player in this draft, if we're being honest. There's a likelihood he could go at 6 to the Las Vegas Raiders, but if Jeanty's there, if he's available, you take him. You don't think twice. He wants to be a Chicago Bear. Ben Johnson wants him to be a Bear. Everybody in House Hall would be jumping with, joy getting a guy like this, a running back that fits his offense, an everyday running back. I mean, shoot, he could even be a receiving threat, an Alvin Kamara type of back for you. In 2023, he had 500 yards receiving, and he's also that bruiser, that guy that's going to force a lot of missed tackles, a guy that's going to run through guys. He's 5'8", but he has that, density, that big body frame to him, where guys are not going to be able to tackle him, especially when he's running full speed. So this would be the perfect back in this Bears offense with Ben Johnson, with Drew Dahlman, Joe Thuney, Jonah Jackson, those maulers up front in the interior. Yeah, Ashton Jeanty is going to have 5-6 yards per carry. This season, 374 carries for Ashton Jeanty, 7 yards per carry, 2,600 yards rushing, 30 total touchdowns. This was a fantastic season for him. In any other year, he wins the Heisman. And if you think about it, this would be the type of running back Ben Johnson would put in his offense to replicate the impact that Jahmyr Gibbs had in the Detroit Lions offense. They took him really early in the draft, way too early. He obviously wasn't an Ashton Jeanty prospect coming into the draft, but Ashton Jeanty could have similar success and similar impact in a Bears offense by Ben Johnson. I like the Bears taking Jeanty at 10. This would be a home run get for the Bears, and him and Swift, that would be a dynamic 1-2 punch for the Bears. And you think about the Bears, traditionally, great defense, great run game, great running back, Matt Forte, Gale Sayers, Walter Payton, David Montgomery for a little bit. Like, we've had some bruising, really fantastic running backs, those running backs that make you miss. And Ashton Jeanty would be that next great Bears running back. Now, pick 39, round 2 for the Chicago Bears, Josh Connerly, left tackle from Oregon. This is a left tackle that will compete with Braxton Jones. He could slide, but he could also be a first-round left tackle, one of the top tackles to go off the board. Really like him as a prospect, but in some mock drafts, he's available at this pick, and if he is, this is a dream scenario for the Chicago Bears. He's allowed just 2 sacks in his entire collegiate career. In 523 pass block snaps, he allowed 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits, 6 quarterback hurries. He was phenomenal in the Big Ten, where the best pass rushers, the best players are SEC as well, but he was phenomenal this year, protecting the blind side of Dylan Gabriel. 83.5 pass blocking grade, good combine, great in the Senior Bowl. Other than, Mike Green bull rushing him that one play, he was the best tackle on his team, the best lineman on his team in the Senior Bowl, one lineman of the week during that week. Very athletic tackle. Great with his hands, explosive off the ball. He has a lot of great traits, and Braxton Jones would have the competition he needs. And if you want to move on from Braxton Jones after 1 year, you can, because you got Josh Connerly, and him and Darnell Wright. Those are 2 tackles you feel confident for moving on into the future with Caleb Williams. Pick 41, I'm going to go Deon Walker from Kentucky, defensive tackle. This is a behemoth. This is a huge athletic freak, 6'7". You pair him with Dexter, who's 6'6". So you have 2 defensive tackles in the interior that are 6'6". Insanity, 2 towers. Yeah, Deon Walker, 6'7", 331 pounds. He can move, though. He can move. He has some speed to him, so he's just not that just big freak. He can move. He's athletic. He's explosive off the ball. He's a tough one-on-one block for any offensive lineman, and he usually wins those matchups, dominates those matchups with his physicality and his frame. He's one of the most interesting prospects in the NFL draft. If he works on his technique with the size, with the stature, with the speed, with some of his traits, he could be a dominant force in the NFL. And Dennis Allen, this Bears coaching staff, I think they could work really well with what he has. He has a lot of the same issues that Dexter had coming into the NFL. Bad pad level, some bad technique technique issues. And we've seen Dexter, first year he struggled a little bit, had 2.5 sacks, played a lot better in the second half of the season. And then last year, pure dominance in the beginning of the season, 5 sacks, really good run stopper. He showed that progress. So if he can get better with, some more development, there's hope for Deone Walker too. So interesting prospect. He's going to be there, I believe, at pick 41. I would take that chance on him. And him behind Grady Jarrett, Dexter, Billings, that's a defensive interior you feel confident about. Pick 72, I'm going to go Kyle Kennard, South Carolina defensive end. He's an undersized defensive lineman, not the typical frame Dennis Allen usually strives for. He makes up for, his lack of size with the pass rush moves, with the speed off the edge, with the high motor, with the relentlessness, and he has great character. Todd McShay was saying he's that type of player that's staying later, trying to, pick up on some things, talking to coaches, seeing what things he could be better at for some of his reps. So this is the kind of guy you want. He has excellent length, explosive athlete with quickness, speed, agility. When he lined up wide, he made tackles look stupid. But he plays with his long arms, so that's a huge strength to him, and his speed off the edge. Those are his two, superpowers. Had 10 sacks in 2024. 23 quarterback hurries, 17.5 sacks, 27 TFLs last 2 seasons at South Carolina. So this is an underrated edge rusher, and if we could get him at 72, Deone Walker on this defensive line with Dio Odengbo, with Montez Sweat, with Dexter, Billings, Grady Jarrett, that's a defensive line that's now a strong suit. That's a defensive line that's going to create havoc. That's a defensive line that you're not worried about anymore and you're excited for in the future. Kyle Kennard is also a solid run defender. He wins with his speed, like I said, and he also has a great rip move that is dangerous. So really like the tools he has in his arsenal, really like the tools he has in his repertoire. He's going to be a dangerous pass rusher if he lands in the right spot, and I think that right spot could be Chicago at pick 72. Now, pick 149, we're going to go offensive line. Luke Kendra, offensive guard from Cincinnati. This is a very underrated offensive lineman. He's going to be a late round gem. 76.7 PFF grade, 0 sacks given up this season, 1 quarterback hit given up, 7 quarterback hurries. That's about it. 6'4", 323 pounds, 2-time starter at Cincinnati the last two years. All Big 12 the last 2 seasons. Gets off the ball quickly, moves fast, gets to the second level pretty well. Strong anchor and pass protection. He's also an impressive second level blocker. He gets to that second level and then he, gets contact, handles those linebackers, handles those corners in the screen game. He had an RAS score of 9.34. Really good for a guard. Only penalized twice in his entire collegiate career. Very disciplined. This would be a great backup behind Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson. More specifically Joe Thuney, because Jonah Jackson's still like 28 years old, I believe. Will be 28 this season. So he could be that guy that can learn behind Joe Thuney, a very seasoned veteran, championship experience, block for Tom Brady, block for Patrick Mahomes. So that's a guy that he could just learn behind, soak up all the knowledge, and just be a sponge behind him. The Bears need another tight end to fill that spot behind Cole Kmet. Durham Smythe, I think he's a solid tight end, but a little past, him being really productive. Jalen Conyers is somebody that I think could fill that role very well, a big playmaker. So at pick 235, I think this is the guy we should get. A guy that's a tight end, 6'3", 265 pounds, but he can be explosive enough, athletic enough to get in the backfield, take some handoffs, to be a quarterback, wildcat situations. We want to do the tush push, but we don't want Caleb Williams to get hurt. Let's throw Conyers back there, and he's going to get it for us. At Arizona State, he had 74 catches, 846 yards, and he also contributed in the run game, like I said. Ran the ball 22 times for 92 yards and a touchdown. He has soft hands, natural receiving skills, versatile weapon. He runs impressive deep routes. Forced 21 missed tackles in 2022. Exceptional athleticism, is a matchup nightmare, and that's the kind of guy we want behind Cole Kmet. That's the kind of guy, we would love to have a Tyler Warren, but if you can't get that, if you're going Ashton Jeanty at pick 10, you're obviously not going to get Tyler Warren. So you need to find that type of playmaking, that type of athlete in another spot, and Conyers can give you that. He ran a 4.74 40-yard dash at, you know, his stature, at his size. That's pretty damn good. And he's also a great lead blocker, great pass blocker. So you can have him be your kind of fullback and have him be your Swiss Army knife too. Have him in lead blocking situations. Have him out there to, you know, protect Caleb Williams, an extra blocker. And you can also have him in the backfield wildcat situations. You could put him out at the slot. You could put him, you know, out wide. You could do so many creative things with him. And this is the guy that Ben Johnson could really cook with. And just finding him at pick 235 would be a steal. The last pick of the draft for the Chicago Bears, Johnny Walker, pick 242, edge from Missouri. This is an underrated pass rusher, 8 sacks in 2023. Ran a 4.79 40-yard dash. The production is there. He followed up that production in 2023 with the 2024 season where he had 10 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, 34 quarterback hurries. He has a variety of pass rush moves. He has great strength against the run. Decent run stopper, has great length. So this is another guy like Kyle Kennard, a little more undersized, not the biggest guy, but he uses his size well. He has great length. He has a variety of pass rush moves. So him, Kyle Kennard, Dio Dangbo, Montez Sweat, Austin Booker off the edge. I really like that a lot as our defensive ends. That's all I got for this mock draft. Let me know down below in the comments what you think. Give me a grade for this mock draft and let me know some guys that you're eyeing. Who's your guy at pick 10? Who are some underrated sleepers, some draft steals you would take if you're the Chicago Bears? But I would want him to get an extension done with, you know, Keenan Allen. I would want him to stay with the Chicago Bears for maybe 2 or 3 more years because he's coming off his best season last year with the Chargers.